Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alyssa, and this is the channel where we talk about and deep dive into all things femininity, conscious creations, pretty much anything that I feel I'd like to address and that we can dive into together. If you're new here, go ahead and check out the Free Feminine podcast. I'll leave the links below. This will be added to the Free Feminine series, so go ahead and get settled into that if you have some time and start listening to a few of those. They are both audio and video, so you can watch or listen in the background while you're doing work or whatever, but I didn't want to make the intro super long. My socials are also linked below. Please check out my TikTok below. I would greatly appreciate if you guys could show some love there as well. But let's go ahead and get into this topic. Now, pretty privilege or pretty problems. I'll just leave that there. Basically, I came up with this idea while I was actually at work the other day, just thinking how people have this perception of attractiveness to be the peak of success and to be just everything to aspire for, especially in Western society. Now, I wanted to talk about some people's experiences. I have a few pieces of content that I would like to share with you guys, which I will insert now that I have downloaded. I will leave the creators their due credits. The first creator is Anila Borse, and she talks about if you're someone who's pretty or socially deemed as attractive, you've got to learn to be a batch, if you will. Of cookies. YouTube, do not demonetize me. I am not there yet, but I should hope that they don't demonetize me for batch. I'm talking about cookies, obviously.
The first reason why you need to be a bitch is because you are going to be a beacon of trigger for everybody. Okay, not everybody, but for most people. The reason for that is you are a physical representation of someone they wish they could be.
So Angela, and credit and shout out to her, she mentions basically the illusion or the existence, if you will, of a hierarchy, and beauty is viewed as the pinnacle of this hierarchy. You have to understand, if you don't feel that you meet the criteria for those parameters, how does one react? Because in a lot of instances, it's a lashing out, it's leaving hateful, nasty comments, okay? It is using humbling tactics, which she also mentions, knocking people down a peg to keep them low. Now, if you are one of the people watching this video who clicked on this because you agreed with the title, you associate being your beauty with essentially somewhat of a problem, or you wouldn't have clicked on this, then you know that because of the hierarchy you're placed on, you're automatically viewed as different or the one who has everything. And so essentially you walk around with a target on your back. And this is, I want to go ahead and right here, right now, put this out there that this is for men too. I have seen this situational occurrence play out in men's lives too. It is not just an attractiveness phenomenon that exists in the womanosphere. Okay, let's lay that out right now. So let's say you are one of the, hold on one second. I forgot to turn on my little light. Now, okay. Regardless, okay, it's on. Let's say you are an attractive person who is very kind. That will be taken advantage of. And because people see you as high up on this social hierarchy, certain individuals who feel the lack or the pressure to conform and lash out as a result will make it their mission to deteriorate your confidence and to humble you so that you don't see this perceived power that they believe that you possess because of your physical attractiveness or even your light. Okay? Light can make people attractive. It's what magnetism is. When you possess a certain light within, that attracts things, people, and experiences to you. So it wouldn't be far-fetched to also, and I like that the ladies that I'm going to share had their experience too, but it wouldn't be that far-fetched to also combine light, aura into attractiveness, into this realm of what we're talking about here. That will also make you a target. Okay, so I had some audio issues, but we're good. We're back. The way that I'm going to do it now is just keep the audio synchronous the entire time. No pauses, no breaks, to make life easier on me when I edit this video. But I found a few videos with men that I'm going to insert here.
Never, and I mean almost ever, get compliments. You will get backhanded compliments. You will hear stuff like this. I bet you get all the women.
All right. So as you can see, he mentioned men that are attractive not getting compliments. In my opinion, that's a form of humbling. Women already assuming that you are disloyal, or you will be more prone to infidelity because of your looks, or even just men also, seeing your looks as a threat to them, or trying to humble you because you are a handsome man. I wasn't able to find too much more, but to stay on topic, again, the theme is the same. These types of people in society are often seen as threats, as something to be upset about in a quality that someone else has. It can bring danger into your life. Now, I did want to take a moment to take this in a different direction. I am going to insert a few other clips proving the main point, which is pretty privilege or pretty problems. But let's talk about the pros of being perceived as attractive. So for one, you probably might have majority of people being nicer to you. Let's see. You might also get free things here and there. Some people say that attractive people get lesser or less harsh sentencing in the justice system. Some people say that pretty people get better job opportunities. And the list goes on and on, right? So there are positives to this perceived social hierarchy that we hold on this pedestal in society. But we're not focused on that in this video, are we? No, we're looking at both sides of the spectrum, predominantly looking at the pretty problems, which is probably, like I said, why you relate and are still watching and listening to the podcast, because you understand, like me, what those downsides may look like. Now, I wanted to talk about Madison Beer for a moment, because when I think about pretty privilege and pretty problems, she came to mind almost immediately. And it's because Madison Beer is, and I'm not talking about any of the things that these people have done. I do not know any of these people personally, and I do not subscribe to parasocial relational sentiments, okay? We're looking at full scope here, zooming out, bird's eye view. She is obviously very attractive. Now, when you look at her musical career and just her career in general, it has been met with an extreme aversion to her success. People don't want to see pretty people like Madison Beer succeed. Why, you might ask? Because they already assume that this woman has everything. And why would we want to give someone who so easily has everything handed to them more on a silver platter? That's kind of the sentiment, that's kind of the idea that I get when I think about Madison Beer, which is why I may even include her in the thumbnail, because she is who I think of when I wrote that title. Unfortunately, that is the truth. Should she be further in her career? Is she genuinely talented? Well, yes, but Is she also extremely attractive? Yes. And there lies the pretty problem. Also, let's talk for a second about Olandria on Love Island. I think it was season 7. I have not watched the show. But I have been watching a few of the fan clips and some interviews here and there. Now, Olandria is a gorgeous, stunning woman. Absolutely beautiful, right? She's a model. She is very well received on the show, and that was a moment. But after the show, people were so cruel, and I'm talking so unbelievably cruel, and I don't want to get too deep into the psychology side of this. No, maybe socio side. I'm no psychologist or sociologist, but I happen to have an interest in both. And I don't want to get too deep into as far as, why are people breaking down her as opposed to other co-stars? Because there's so many other breakdowns and think pieces that have been done on this topic in particular. But I do want to say, just off her beauty alone, she's a target already, just right away. And then she just goes in on that show with grace, and she doesn't cause a scene, and she's just reserved, and she's able to self-preserve some of her own personality, which is normal. No one needs to lay all their cards out on the table, which I think Angela, the first video that I put in the pod, where she was talking about, you need to learn how to be like a little bit of a batch of cookies. You do. Preserve some of yourself. Do not give all your energy away just because. And I think that because she was so beautiful and not showing so much of herself, that made people angry. A lot of people desire to see the pretty person crack, to see the pretty person crumble, or to see them have some downfall. They're watching so that person can ultimately crumble in front of their eyes. And when they don't get that, when a mass audience that is expecting that from a reality show doesn't really get that narrative that they want from a pretty person, and there comes the outcry for, she's not authentic, she's this, she's that, and all of the other things you can think of that pretty people have been accused of for not fitting into the narratives or humbling themselves to make other people feel more comfortable about their own personal projections or insecurities. That was a lot, I know. Let's go ahead and look at another video that I want to insert.
Talk about pretty punishment, I guess that's what they call it, because I've made videos about it, and then there's people also saying, but you never talk about the negative aspect of being, whether it's like somewhat attractive or whatever. I think that my voice, I woke up not too long ago and I'm getting ready for work, but let's get into it. I really do think that being attractive, no matter how attractive you are, even if you're just attractive, it does make a lot of difference in how people treat you, and that could be for better or for worse. Obviously we have the people that you can just feel the jealousy, and it's not necessarily because you might be attractive, but I feel like sometimes you could just feel in a room when people are kind of being backhanded towards you. I know someone that every time I would be around them, they were constantly down talking me, and it would always be a joke. I don't take it seriously, but when it gets to a point that it's you're constantly insulting me, it's just starting to feel I don't know, maybe you got something against my appearance. Or another thing people will very much try to tear down so quickly is confidence. If you're confident in yourself, people see that as a threat.
Now, Nat Spy talks about her experience with pretty privilege, and how you can either experience the worst or the best, which we have also addressed. The lighting just changed. Give me a second. Nat Spy talks about the experience she's having where a friend is constantly giving backhanded compliments or little negging compliments, just things that kind of make you doubt who you are and why you are the way you are. These comments, although like she said, oh, I didn't think anything of them initially, become very insidious, and you see the true nature of these comments and why they are made, as they are made consistently over and over and over at any chance that this person has, because they are trying to invoke a feeling of insecurity within you so that you doubt yourself and you start to alter or shrink or just diminish all of the confidence that you had altogether so that they can feel more comfortable around you, essentially. Because what this video tells me is that this friend, person, coworker, etc., whoever it was, felt very threatened by this woman's presence. And because they felt so threatened by her presence and the way that she shows up authentically, I'm guessing she's confident, very magnetic, all the things, this made this person very uncomfortable. And they may or may not come to terms with that. But even so, what they are doing is projecting this lack within that they feel around this person onto the woman or the guy, to feel better about themselves, hoping that this person will, like I said, shrink away. Okay. Or just altogether become insecure, like they probably are. Very deep stuff, you guys. And, it doesn't surprise me much, given that I personally know of these things to be true, right? We all know about the cashier who is randomly rude to you because you went back and they forgot something in your order, or they bring you up and slam things down in the process of, checking out your groceries or your things. Just passive aggressive little things like that, or people trying to undermine your intelligence because you're attractive. No, I didn't see any videos like that. But that is also something to be mentioned here. Women in particular, I don't know if men experience the undermining of their confidence. I don't know. But I do know that women who are attractive are more likely to be undermined. And I think it's because, again, nobody wants to see the pretty person have everything. Like, it's true. Sorry if you're uncomfortable hearing about this topic. It probably means at least a piece of what I'm saying is true, and it makes you feel uncomfortable, and that's okay, because it means that there's change happening. There's change happening, and that is always going to be great, okay? It's always going to be impactful in one way or another, whether we like it or not. I digress. But pretty privilege or pretty problems. Overall, I will say that, people probably do prefer, especially in Western society, to be more attractive. But instead of tearing other people down, instead of lashing out in ways that are very destructive, instead of unaliving people, rest in peace to Valeria Marquez, she comes to mind. I pray for peace. I pray for restoration over her family's life. Instead of lashing out in those ways, can we not focus on other facets of the human race, like, alleviating human suffering or technological advancement? I don't know. Do something. Go put your energy elsewhere. But trying to I know I'm on my soapbox. Trying to hurt someone else for something they most likely cannot control is actually maniacal. I hope that you see that. It is maniacal. Trying to get someone fired from a job because you're insecure, because you can't come into this space with utmost professionalism, like the contract asks of you to do, is asinine, right? Because there's so many more important things at work, but I do think that social media plays a role in the pedestalization of being pretty. So I think I have one more video that I'd like to share with you guys. So hold on one second.
Dating. Most people will be intimidated because they think, oh, this person looks like this, so everyone's after them, so I'm not even going to try to pursue them. Or the opposite of, I'm going to pursue this person, but because I think everybody's after them, I'm going to be jealous, possessive, and try to humble the fuck out of them. or people liking you for shallow reasons, like thinking you're some sort of trophy. To them, you don't have thoughts and opinions and all of these things that ruin their idea of you. You are something to conquer. You're something to be on their arm.
Official Queen Bee Key, thank you so much for letting us also talk about this topic. But she talks about the relational aspect. Really quickly, let's go ahead and dive in. In a relationship, and I talked about that for men earlier, your partner may or may not become very possessive, very clingy, or in a lot of cases, especially with women, that man or partner will specifically try to do little things to neg you or humble you, to undermine your confidence, to undermine your self-worth, to make you feel like you're not enough, to make you feel like you're not desirable or attractive as you think you are, or they don't want you to really see how attractive that you are or how the world sees you, because then that would mean you would have many other options, which equals more competition. And weak people don't love competition, but if you're strong, you're going to withstand competition. That's just my take. Okay. Trying to make a woman feel less than what she's worth because you are not able to step your cookies up, step up to the challenge, and do better is a weak person's game. I said it and I will not take it back. That is a weak person's game. If you are not ready to do better, simply leave that person alone. Kindly. Thank you. It may hurt to feel lost. It hurts so bad for all of us, but you're going to be doing yourself a favor by leveling up first instead of trying to take on something you're clearly not in your season to have yet. Okay? All right. Pretty privilege or pretty problems. I think that we have arrived at a point here. What I would like to ask of you listening is to evaluate your experience and how it affects how you show up in this world. Are you lashing out? Do you have some unresolved issues, maybe due to, it could even be trauma to other people, making you feel less than, or family dysfunction? It could be a number of things, but I challenge and encourage all of us, okay, as a collective, to read into ourselves. This is why self-mastery is so important, because when you are able to spend time with yourself, when you are able to digest, and it is not gonna be the easiest pill to swallow, where your blind spots are, where you feel insecure, where you feel like you can't show up or measure up in this world, where you feel lack, why you feel lack, how do you address these things? These are all things that don't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes patience. But when we are ready to finally address these things, we can stop projecting onto other people these delusions of grandeur, if you will, that they have everything easier just because we're not willing to do the work too. We're not willing to do the work. Just because someone is attractive, that does not take away from the gifts that you possess. Okay? That does not take away from what you have to offer. Please, for the love of God, remember that. Well, I really enjoyed this topic. It has been on my mind this entire week, and I'm glad that I finally got to sit down and make it. Editing should be fun, to say the least, because like I said, I had audio issues in the first half, and then I have some TikTok clips of which I would like to give credit to the creators and their due respect for this topic and adding to the podcast. Thank you so much, lovely humans, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. It did get dark outside, so the lighting looks really kind of funky. Right now it's kind of dark. By the way, I got a couch, my first couch. I am in love with this, and it is perfect now. I don't have to film by my little window. I had the cutest little setup. I am not ashamed. We all start from somewhere. But now this will be the main site right here. Ooh, ow. This will be the main site right here on the couch, and I'm so excited about all of the things to come and all of that we can talk about and digest into. I've got my comfy blanket and pillows and hopefully more. This is just the beginning for our journey together, and I'm happy to embark on that with you guys. So if you liked, be sure to go ahead and give this a like, and I will see you guys in the next podcast. I hope you have a great day. Bye.